We have a missing soldier. Time is not on our side.
And she's suffering, but she's still alive, and I want her back like that. I want her alive.
We want justice for Vanessa. That's all we ask for.
No one answers because my sister did not do this to herself. Someone did it.
The Army will not stop its efforts to eradicate sexual harassment and sexual assault.
This bill protects our military, and we have a duty to them. They fight for us. It's time we fight for them.
We keep demanding the congressional investigation, the hashtag I am Vanessa Guillen bill to be passed, and for justice for Vanessa Guillen.
Today marking 1 year since Vanessa Guillen disappeared from Fort Hood. It sparked a months-long search, rallies, and calls for change at the military post and within the Army itself. Her death and disappearance leading to multiple investigations resulting in major leadership changes on post and an overhaul of how the Army handles sexual assault and harassment cases. 25 News has been following Vanessa's story since the very beginning.
Tonight, we're taking a look at how the story unfolded and some of the major changes the Army put in place following her disappearance.
Private First Class Vanessa Guillen was reported missing from Fort Hood on April 22nd.
If people have hope, it gives me hope.
Her case is grabbing headlines across the nation. People want to know, where is Vanessa Guillen?
Where is Vanessa?
The 20-year-old was last seen in the parking lot of her Regimental Engineer Squadron headquarters on Fort Hood.
Not normal for her to just vanish like that.
I think everybody's working together for one reason, and that's to find Vanessa.
The remains found near the Leon River are in fact those of Vanessa.
Federal prosecutors formally charging 22-year-old Cecily Aguilar in connection with the disappearance of 20-year-old Fort Hood soldier Vanessa Guillen. Aguilar is charged with 1 count of conspiracy to tamper with evidence, accused of helping another soldier, Aaron Robinson, dispose of Guillen's body.
That same day, Specialist Robinson shot himself along Rancier Avenue as police closed in to arrest him.
How can this happen on military base? How can this happen while she was on duty?
He supposedly took a hammer and killed her in the room.
They fight for us, right? Every day? Yeah! We're here to fight for them.
Yeah! I've determined the issues at Fort Hood are directly related to leadership failures.
Secretary McCarthy has chosen to either release or suspend 14 leaders, from Corps Command down to squad leaders.
We owe her our very, very best efforts to get better, and we will.
It is our duty to make sure that we protect all those who follow.
Let us never forget who she was, what she stood for, and her courageous example of thousands of others enlisted soldiers.
So we must stop here, and we must demand for the I Am Vanessa Guillen Act to pass. That's the only thing that I believe will help others.
As you just heard, Texas legislatures introduced bills aimed at protecting service members from sexual assault and sexual harassment in Guillen's memory.
They are also pushing to designate September 30th, her birthday, as Vanessa Guillen Day around the state and rename a state highway in her honor. On Monday this week, Fort Hood dedicated a gate in her memory. Her family was on hand. They call the gate a good way to start, and they will continue to fight for change as long as it's necessary. That gate is located on the corner of Fort Hood Street and Rancier Drive, directly across from her mural.
Vanessa's family gathering in Washington, D.C. to push members of Congress to pass a bill to reform the way the military handles sexual assault and harassment cases. Guillen's 2 sisters giving emotional speeches today.
It takes a lot for us to be here today, demanding justice after a whole year. So all I ask for today is, please don't forget her name. Don't forget the story. It's hard. It's so hard for me and for my family to be standing here today. It's so emotional, but these tears that are coming out of my eyes are of sadness, but mostly of frustration, because a year later, nothing has been done.
California Rep. Jackie Speer was expected to reintroduce the I Am Vanessa Guillen Act today after it was never voted on during a previous congressional session. The family attorney says Speer will wait on a report from an independent review commission requested by the president.
We've got team coverage tonight with our Leah McNeil and Jarrell Baker, both out in Bell County.
We'll start in Killeen with Jarrell covering a candlelight vigil.
Yeah, that's right. I'm here at the vigil, and it's just becoming to get underway. There are people that are gathering around and getting ready. Now, this is important for this community and for everyone here that has been impacted by Vanessa Guillen. And this is what this is about. This is not only happening here. There are visuals that are happening in Dallas and Houston and several places across the country. Now, this is all a show of solidarity so that they can support the I Am Vanessa Guillen bill. And that's making its way through Congress. And it's a bill that is meant to protect service members that are victims of sexual assault. Now, we'll be seeing several things here at this vigil. We'll be having people like local city officials. Mayor Segarra will also be speaking as well. And during this event, they'll also be honoring two service members. Now, they were pivotal in keeping the sign and keeping this area safe, especially when it was vandalized, and making sure that the mural was upkeep and making sure the mural was good and safe. So we'll tell you a little bit more about that at 10 and how much this impacts the community. Live here in Killeen, Jarrell Baker, 25 News.
Jarrell, thank you. Vanessa's story certainly spread quickly across the state and even the entire country. Today, thousands are remembering the young woman. Leah McNeil is live on post tonight with how her death has impacted female soldiers. Leah?
Well, Todd, so many people will never know what it's like to walk in Vanessa Guillen's shoes. But for the ones that do, her fellow female soldiers, they say it could have just as easily been them instead of her. Now, I did get the chance to speak to one soldier who did not want to share her name, but she says she shares the same distrust that Vanessa once did when it comes to leadership and the reporting of sexual assault within the military. She says as a soldier, she's had many instances where she was harassed or felt unsafe, and once she reported it, nothing was done. Today and every day, she now fights for change to ensure Vanessa did not die in vain.
There's nothing that can justify what happens to her, but her story does resonate with military women, and we're working hard to correct some of the things that are happening to us. We're working hard to correct a culture that has wronged us so many times. We're really just working hard to make the military a place where women are welcome.
This soldier also tells me she and others are working around the clock every day to again make sure Vanessa Guillen did not die in vain, and everyone remembers her name and her story. Now, I got the chance to speak to other soldiers, both male and female. They say that they agree that there have been some improvements as far as communicating within the ranks and their higher ups on posts and throughout the military, but others feel more can be done. However, they all agree that Vanessa's name, her story, and who she was inside and outside of uniform will forever be remembered. Live at Fort Hood, Leah McNeil, 25 News.
Leah, thank you. In 2020, all eyes were on Fort Hood. 25 News has a look back at some of the biggest stories to come out of the military post, including Vanessa's disappearance. You can watch our special Fort Hood Trouble at the Great Place on Roku, Apple TV, and our 25 News mobile app.